Mr. Cutler, your Uber is here.
This is, you're like the paparazzi. Everyone's like, why is this guy filming this?
You're famous, don't you know that?
Yo, little change of scenery for jaywalking. Huh?
I know, I was going to say, how's that for jaywalking?
You know what, I forgot my sunscreen though.
What's going to happen?
You always should wear your sunscreen. I'll probably get actually a little more color. It's funny, I went to go get a haircut from Julia last night and she's like, you look so tan. But you know, did you see the comments? They were commenting that I had a farmer's tan in my video.
I didn't notice everything. Yeah.
How funny was that, right?
I know, they don't notice everything.
So, I was kind of laughing, you know.
Sometimes you don't say anything, so I don't know if you read the comment and then later on you say something. You read everything.
Yo, look at this. Oh, you just missed this chick on the road, on the bouncy thing over here. She's doing all these tricks. You know, it's so crazy. When I lived on this, right on the boardwalk.
Oh, Ed's place was right here?
Ed's place, no, it's further down, off of Ocean Front, remember? But where, you know, can you imagine me being 19 and this guy, you know, inviting me to come stay at a house on the beach? His house was worth like 500 grand at that time. He said he paid for it.
What did you think about that?
Dude, the house was crazy. And I thought back then the house was like, you know, you think of these elaborate, crazy houses, right? And the funny thing is like that house back then he paid 500. I think he sold it for 3.5 or 4, and now it's worth like $7 million or something crazy. That's how much the real estate's gone up here. Wow. But look at that view. Show the people.
I know.
You know, the crazy part is people from all over the world watch this stuff, and it's people's dream is to come here. That's why I asked you when you posted that. You posted that video, and I said, "Did you get to see the Hollywood sign?" Like, look at this.
I know. It's beautiful.
So
I came here. I came to Santa Monica. I went to Newport Beach. I remember.
Well, you were down there, the Laguna Hills.
Yeah, Orange County a lot.
You know, it's funny. You mentioned Laguna Hills. That's where Mitsuru was from. The guy.
Yes, I went to his house many times. Yes, I would pick up the video instead of him shipping them to me.
Oh, really?
Because he would give me one free if I picked them up instead of shipping. Yeah, for the store. Yeah. He was great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You should have seen him edit all that stuff on his old computers.
Oh, really?
You know. Yeah, it was great.
You saw the setup?
Yeah, I saw the setup, yeah. The whole office and everything, yeah.
Yes, I think if anyone comes out here, I used to sit out here at night, like right next to the pier.
Yeah.
And just chill, yeah. Wow. Pretty awesome.
No, but what I was going to say is, you know, when Ed first met you and invited you to his house and everything, what do you think, you just being 18, 19, just this older guy invited you to his house, and what's your first thought?
Well, all the other guys were there. Remember, there were guys staying at his house at that point. You know what I'm saying?
All the stars, yeah.
Yeah. I want to do this. You know, you don't have to stop the video. I just want to be able to shoot here. So
yeah.
Let's be able to show this background.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, we could show the people on the rope, but
yeah,
really
we'll do some footage.
But yeah, he was like, you know, he owned Gold's Gym at the time, so Chris Aceto knew him though. So it wasn't like I went blindly into like, hey, you know, it's crazy that this guy invited me to stay there. Chris Aceto was like, remember, he worked at Gold's Gym. Chris Aceto was a trainer there. And they used to run those muscle camps. I don't know if you ever heard about the muscle camps. So like Lee Haney and Gaspari and like Barry DeMay, all those guys, they used to get together and collaborate and do camps. And people would pay to come out to California, and they'd do muscle camps daily for like a week straight.
Wow. And
they would have like sessions on teaching people how to work out. That'd be awesome to bring back.
Did you ever do it?
No, because it was way before it was before my time. That was
in
like
the 80s.
That was like the late 80s, yeah.
Okay.
And then David Zelon, who ran those, ended up promoting the USA before John Lindsay became the promoter. And then he's a producer for movies and stuff.
Wow.
He did this movie Never Back Down. He was a producer for that. He did a bunch of films.
That sounds
People on here may know who David Zelon is, so they can probably correct me on the other films, but there's a lot. So, you know, this really brings back a lot of memories. I was talking to you this morning about how, you know, we talk about being broke, you know, and I said, fuck, man, a lot of people like can relate to your video because...
Hold on a second, because I want to say how this started, this conversation, because you were telling me back when you signed with Muscle Tech, you felt you were rich. And I said, wait a minute. Back then you thought you were rich, and today you're telling me you're busted all the time. So what changed, you know? So tell me, that's when we start talking about that.
Listen, you know, I struggled. I mean, I moved to California, and I remember, you know, I furnished my place, and you know, people think, oh, Jay came from a ton of money and this and that, but you know, I kind of was reminiscing this morning, and I talked about, you know, when I had to furnish and get all my TVs, we came to California with nothing. Like, we brought our clothes, and we had one vehicle that It was a Land Cruiser that was in my Cut Above video that Scrappy was in, right? So we flew with Scrappy on the plane. He went underneath. That's before people were bringing dogs on planes. And, you know, we got there. We had to buy couches, bed, mattresses. But I think all together was like 11 grand. And I had debt a debt on a credit card. But I also went to Circuit City, which was in business at the time.
I remember that, yeah.
And I had a no-interest card with them. I started a credit card, and basically I had like 12 months to pay it with no interest. So I based all the payments on that. I think that was like 4 grand or something of it. And I said, okay, if I pay like 500 a month, I can do that. And I was getting a good salary from Weeder. I was I was still making a 6-figure income. But for me, it was like I put myself in a little debt, and I was carrying that debt until, like, you know, I bought a house before I even paid that debt off. You know, I won the Night of Champions. I used that down payment, part of that, to do my down payment on a house. And then, you know, I got second to Ronnie Coleman on the European Tours and 8th at that Olympia in 2000 at the end of the year. And that's when I remember I had $14,000 or $12,000 in credit card debt, and I won 28 grand between the 3 shows. There were 3 shows I did. So the Olympia, I won like 14 or 15 for 8th, and then I won the European Tours second to Ronnie, and I got, you know, whatever the difference was to make up like 27 or 28 grand. And I remember coming home and I paid off that debt, bro, and I was so fucking happy you don't even know. I'm like, I was debt free, and I told you that was the last time I ever had any outstanding debt, because then it just rolled. You know, I was winning. I tell people, like, when you make a substantial amount of money, and I was winning. You remember, I got second at the Olympia. I won 60K. Then I won my first honor, getting 100K, and plus the Hummers, which I sold. And I started doing investing. You know, I was in Vegas buying real estate then, so I was turning stuff. So I was getting checks, you know, 100 grand, or, you know, I mean, I think my biggest real estate deal I did, you know, back then. I mean, one house I made $1 million on, you know.
Wow.
So it was kind of crazy. How it kind of transitioned, and I just kind of look back now and, man.
But that was new to you, to actually get like a big lump sum at one time. You weren't used to that.
Well, you know, it really, you know, that's the benefit about how bodybuilding was, and still to this day, people say, oh, the bodybuilders don't make money, but where else are you going to go win 50 or 60,000 in one shot? You know, it's different when you make 4 grand a month and you work in 12 months and you got, you know, you have expenses every month, but when you get a lump sum and it's compiled on top of the other stuff, you know, there's still a great living. I mean, where else can you go make a 6-figure income? You know, even if you're a bodybuilder and you make $100,000 or $200,000, it's still a hell of a lot of money. I mean,
400K for the Olympia, man.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it was my biggest check was 200K.
Wow, double.
And I didn't get any bonuses on my contracts based on if I won, because they expected it, right?
Yeah.
I think, you know, when Phil won his first, he got, like, you know, a bonus too, because, like, he wasn't paid as much money, but. Yeah. You know, it's really the kind of reminisce on that. And I was talking about, I always say that I'm busted, right?
Always.
You know, I always like, I was telling someone this morning too, I was texting him, like, man, isn't it funny? Like, I never feel like enough is enough, right? And it's not necessarily financial, it's just success in general. I mean, just like winning the Olympia, I thought, okay, there's bigger things than this. You know, I always say when I got to the top and I won, I was like, man, this is it. You know, like, you expect a little more, right? You know, bodybuilding, just this, you know, it's transpired now into social media, right? And a lot of people now, like, showcase their talents, and they're doing training online. And people even that don't have the experience of myself are doing online training, because we all have different techniques. This guy came up to me in the gym yesterday, bro, and he said to me, he introduced himself, and he's like, I met you before at Vegas Discount, whatever, and he said, I became a trainer. Any advice? I said, listen, everyone's going to find their own route. Everyone's going to find their own style. He says, Jay, I've never squatted before. I said, well, you know, you don't necessarily have to tell people that, but it doesn't mean that you're a bad trainer. You know, there's so many different variations now. You don't have to squat in today's society. I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, right? I mean, it's not a necessary thing. I mean, you look at, back in the day, you know, people used to look at Ronnie and say, okay, that's how you get big, is training like with free weights and going crazy weight, you know, doing that kind of training. But now people have gotten a little smarter, because, you know, they realize that the body gets torn up, and people are thinking about long term, like a Dexter Jackson type. I mean, we should be able to compete into our 40s if we really want to. I mean, look at you. You're competing in another show. I mean, you went through kind of an injury process. Yeah. I said to you, I said, I wish I could come back and compete. I put out a video And I said, I wish I could come back and compete right now. And you always say, well, you're not too old, you know, but I just have too many moving parts to my life right now, which really kind of keep me at side. I think my benefit is better giving back to, you know, what makes me better. But I always look back at those days when I went to Orange County, and I'm so thankful for that experience. And, you know, people don't think that I relate. I can relate to every single person that's watching these videos, because I was not handed anything. Like, I came to California just like you did. I thought about it, and I processed as we did that video, and I thought, man, you know, he came here, he had 100, but listen, I came here and I had a great salary, but I didn't have a ton of money in a bank account. I used a lot to finance business and whatever else. Granted, I had investments and other stuff, but like liquid money, I was like, holy shit. And I talked about the cars, right? I talked about, you know, when I got my Corvette delivered, I had a bowling green with a tan top and a tan interior Corvette. It was a special edition, a 2000 limited edition Vet. And my dream was to own a Corvette, bro. That was my dream car, right? You know, we all have dreams. So my car was that Corvette. And when I had that thing delivered, I was in Europe competing with Ronnie Coleman in 2000 on the tour after the Olympia. And I remember my first lease payment on it, it was like $650. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of money, you know, because my former vehicle, I had that Land Cruiser, it was $281.33 a month. I know exactly what the payment was, right? And I'm like, man, I'm stepping up, like doubling my payment. I'm like, man, am I gonna be able to afford this? And I was making good money, like I said. But like, I remember showing up at the dealership to pick the car up, and I got in it and I'm like, holy shit, I made it, right? And I came home, and then I parked in my garage, and I had like a tiled garage. I did the garage tile, kind of like Sean Ray. I followed what he did. Yeah. You know, that's, you know, plug for him, because he had everything like perfect. He always had nice cars. He did his house nice. So I had my car, you know, in the garage. I'm looking at it. I'm like, damn, like, this is great. And then, you know, Carrie at the time, like, we had been sharing cars. You know, we had that Toyota, and she was driving that a little bit. And then I bought her that cabriolet, that white cabriolet with the white top. Yeah. With the white interior and everything. So she had that, and that was like her dream car. So now we had our dream car living in California. I remember, dude, waking up every day, and it was like this, bro. I was in Orange County, but dude, we were smiling every day. And I used to drive up here and do auditions and shit for them. I thought I was going to be a movie star too, like you did, you know. And you know, I was coming up for photo shoots with Robert Reef and Weeder magazines. That's kind of why I moved out here. But it was funny because, like, we both had our dream cars, and then of course that transpires into, like, we got rid of that because it was kind of unsafe, right? The California traffic and everything. So we ended up buying her our first X5, which became like our dream vehicle. And I remember that was like $1,000 a month payment on that thing, and I was like, man, that's a huge step, right?
How much were you paying in mortgage?
$1,200 on
so
my
almost
condo,
the same for the X5 as the
wow.
Wow.
And you know, I look back, and that house, you know, I made money on that house, but I'm like, damn, that was a great place. 3-bedroom condo right there in Aliso Viejo, and I paid $218 for it. Wow. After the Night of Champions. I sold it for over $300, which was very good. It's about $550 or $600 now, I think. I was wondering, really, but you know, and then the cars just compile. We talked about all the cars. You know, I bought twin-tower Porsches. I bought Mercedes convertibles. You know, I won all those Hummers. You know, and then eventually stepping up to the big boy stuff. You know, I bought that Cayenne Porsche. I took over the lease from Dave Enders. You know, I had that all blacked out and everything. I bought the car from Gladys Knight. And then eventually buying, you know, Ferraris and Rolls Royces and wow. And you know, now of course having a G-Wagon, and you know, I'm driving a Suburban like as a daily, but we got something new coming, actually.
Hopefully we'll put it on tape. That'd be great.
Put it on tape, so you guys will be happy to see the next one. So it's pretty cool, you know. So I'm out here just spending some time with you, and it's always good. And I like the comments about our friendship. That was really important for me, because, you know, we do this. We wanted to do a project together, and, you know, no matter what, Dave's gonna, you know, he's gonna work with me in the products, the supplements and whatever. But like, this YouTube stuff is really what his passion is. He loves being at Gold's Gym Venice. He's a full-time bodybuilder. So, so, you know, we got him planted there. We're showcasing the new talent, but also he's coming to Vegas every week, man. It's a lot of effort on Dave's part, which I appreciate so much. And we get to spend more time together, man. Our friendship means more than all this content, you know. And it's just so easy for us because it just rolls. And you know, I might tease them and this and that. And I love that the fans get involved and they're like full-time bodybuilding. I mean, that's going to be the big motto for 2019 is, you know, let's cheer Dave on as he gets ready to make a comeback. He's going to get back on stage since I'm not doing it this year. But man, I'm loving training more than I have in the last 5 years. Right
Really?
now. Yes.
Why?
I don't know, man. I feel good. I'm in a really good spot now. The product line is going fucking awesome. I'm getting a lot of great feedback, a lot of great things about the J Mail. The J Cutler Club actually launches today, so that's going to be announced on my Instagram. So if you guys haven't seen that, you know, that's now underway. So I'm excited about that too, and that's going to be more interactive with people. Just so much giving back, and I think that makes me happier to be able to leave my mark and do positive things. Our channel continues to grow.
I think that's what's great about social media, Champ, also because, you know, between the Jmail and the YouTube and everything, when you ask people questions, they almost get back to you right away. And before with the magazine, you didn't really get that feedback. You
no,
really
and I would sit there and do people's emails. I mean, I remember I'd spend like days after training, like, damn, I got to answer all these emails today. And I know Ronnie used to do it too.
Yeah.
And I used to handwrite letters, Dave, you know.
Wow.
But you know, so many people, only so many people are going to take the time to write an email or write a letter and really express. But it's so much easier now
because everybody gets to see the answer too.
Yeah, but everyone has an extension themselves, which is right here, a phone.
Yeah.
So now they don't have to go to a computer or sit down at a desk and write. They can kind of just walk and be like, okay, I'm going to put this in my phone, right? Yeah. So I think really, you know, it's just so much easier to interact. And if people ask me what if bodybuilding at, you know, its worst time or best time, or I think it's at the best time, man. I think social media is positive. I mean, I'm not going to harp on the negative shit. I know there's some stuff floating around on negativity, but you know, I'm not that one, man. I'm not that one to jump on that. I'm going to support everyone, everything that people do. I want to see people interactive with everyone, and we all have our inspirations, man. I still have people that inspire me every day, and it's the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any heroes of like, you know, remember I followed Stallone and Van Damme and these guys, but these guys aren't really present as much now.
Yeah.
I think now it's like, you know, I have to kind of follow my own lead, but at the same time inspired by the fans' comments. And I think, you know, us reading, and I get on there and I look and I answer, you know, I write back to people, and I tell people get off the page, jerk off. That's like my famous sign when people want to like put negative stuff on there. So it's awesome, man. We appreciate it so much. But if I start reminiscing more about stories, sorry, it's kind of dragged on, but I just wanted to really, this is really what I wanted to showcase, guys. So this is what California is all about. So if you guys come to Santa Monica, this is going to be, I think this should be actually our shot, Dave.
Oh, okay.
I think this should be
the screenshot. There you go.
This should be like a screenshot.
Oh, that's tight.
If it looks good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, guys, check out the Santa Monica Pier. Check out Gold's Gym Venice. Shout out to Dave Mad Max 6. And keep following our channel. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you hit subscribe and stay tuned.
All right. What's that? Ah, I didn't know that. World famous.
Is this where the full-time bodybuilders go?
That's where you go.
Yeah, I remember coming here like, this is the first place I went my first time I came to Cali, I think.
When you came to win the tournament champion?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We used to eat on this side though, before.
Yeah, I don't think people eat here as much anymore.
No.
I used to eat at this table right here.
Yeah. Cormier and Dillett and Priest, Gary Stridham, all these guys were eating here.
Yeah, he used to live right here, so
I know, up there, yeah.
This is where the bus blew up on Speed, guys.
Yeah,
by the way. Right there, where that camper is.
That's
right.
Where
the bus blew up. And remember, Keanu Reeves came running out of this door.
Yeah.
Right here, and the bus blew up. Right
Go watch Speed again.
If you guys watch Speed, you'll see that.
Ah, look at that. The whole place for herself.
You want to check?
Anywhere you want.
Alright, so this is the famous Firehouse on the corner of Rose Cafe. Rose and what?
Rose in Hampton.
In Hampton, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna have the chicken stir fry.
No Bob Bowl?
Nah, the Bob Bowl's for bodybuilders, bro. I think the bodybuilders eat Bob Bowl. What are you gonna have?
I think I'm gonna have the Bob Bowl, but I'm gonna have to weigh my food though.
Why?
Because I got the scale now. That's it.
What is how much meat are we looking at?
Okay, so today I get to have 7 ounces of meat, and like 6.5 ounces of rice. That's it.
Do you think they're gonna have enough meat for you when they bring it out the first time?
Yeah, I think it's too much actually. It's probably over.
Okay. Hello. Okay, so here's my food.
So I had to ask for an extra scale, for an extra plate so I can weigh my food. So I get 7 ounces of beef. They say it was 12 ounces, but I'm sure that's not cooked. They always screw you. So we'll just see what Firehouse is actually giving me. Oh, it's not even
Dude,
close.
I can't believe you weigh your food.
Yeah. I'm at 555 right now. See? Barely 7, that's perfect. So
They said 10 ounces.
He said 12 ounces.
Wow,
but by the time
you got
cook it.
So my food.
Yeah, see, at 7.65. 12 ounces gets down to 7.65 at Firehouse.
Wow.
You get screwed big time. I told you that the Arnold one time, and they were like ripping us off, so they started bringing me 2 patties. And I need 6.5 ounces of rice. So that's about right.
You're not even gonna weigh that?
No, I'm gonna weigh it, but I need to transfer it over. It's complicated.
Wow.
Are we on video here?
You're on JTV, man.
Oh wow.
I've been trying to see this guy for months now, and he just shows up randomly. He must have known we were here.
Dude, how many times have
I
we
think
been
you're
talking?
hanging out here waiting for me because you know I come here every day.
This is like his office.
How many
Part-time
times have we
office.
been talking about someone? You did this with Ed Connor. You keep doing it with
Yeah.
everybody. He mentioned
right.
someone that we haven't seen in a while. They show up. Unbelievable.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. He's been telling me, I want to see Scott. You know, call. You made me call your office. I actually had to get the phone number
Yeah.
from Colleen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's so funny because when you called, I said, you know, your name was on the list. I said, is Jay Cutler the professional bodybuilder?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, could you please find out if it's him? Because if it's Jay,
You know, I used to have your cell number, but I think you changed it.
I changed it.
You blocked me. One of the two.
no, I changed it. I had too many.
Riff-raffs.
People.
Too many riff-raffs.
Exactly.
It's good to see you, Big Scott.
Hey, it's good to see you too.
Awesome.
You're still training at Gold Venice, right?
No, not anymore.
You're not?
I had to retire.
Oh, okay.
So he's not a bodybuilder. You'll take over his position now.
It's so good to see you, Big Scott, man.
Great.
Very
Good
cool.
to see you, Dave.
Hi. Awesome. That's it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good meal. Got to see Scott.
Yeah, not bad.
That's awesome.
I'll have an hour probably when I get in there and chill out. And
Boom. Trip. And then next time we see you is hopefully in Germany. We'll get some footage, possibly.
we'll have
Right.
footage, yeah.
Thanks, Richie.